welcome to Alongside Lauren. I'm Lauren and I'm so glad that you're hanging out here in my kitchen with me this Sunday afternoon as I get a few bits and pieces prepared to hopefully make the coming week a little bit easier. You have heard the dulcet tones of my Thermomix as it finishes preparing the topping that we're going to use for our Greek-inspired stack today. We're also going to be preparing a side salad to go with that. I was seeking inspiration. We did a grocery shop last night. That's right. I'm a rager. I grocery shop on Saturdays. It's a little bit different. Normally we grocery shop on a Friday night, but I thought, you know what, heck, let's mix things up.
Yeah, why not?
And this is my incredible sous chef and husband, Heath.
Hi, everybody.
And we like to just spend time on our Sunday afternoons together, getting bits and pieces prepared to mean that we're not slaving over a stove or, more importantly, madly trying to figure out what we're going to cook for dinner in the, hour and a half that we get between getting home from work and actually getting to bed. So we thought, I've got some pita bread that's been languishing in the freezer that I got on clearance. It was $3.80 and I got it for 38 cents. But they're probably starting to get a little bit long in the tooth, so I thought now would be a good time to use them up. And I figured it's pita bread. Normally, like, we would do sort of a Mexican style stack with tortillas, which we don't have, and I figured pita bread. Why don't we do something a little bit more Greek-inspired instead? So I'm completely flying by the seat of my pants. I've got absolutely no idea if what I'm about to concoct is going to work, but that's okay because we're only going to eat it for 4 nights in a row. So if it's terrible, it's my fault and we have to do it for the entire week. But I'm reasonably confident that I think this one is going to be okay. So that mince is sort of cooked away. I've also got a plant alternative mince to go with it rather than a standard pork or anything like that. And that is based purely on the fact that was also on clearance. So I think that one 40 cents?
Yeah, I think it was about that.
40 cents down from 8 something. Now, most importantly, before we do anything else, cocktails must be made.
Woo!
Now, I'm just going to grab some ice. Very excited. Oh, no,
right.
hang on.
How about I grab the ice? How about I
grab
grab the ice?
Grab the ice. Otherwise, it's just going to be a shot of the kitchen. So I've got a few bits and pieces that, this will sound ridiculous, that I was hoping to use up, but it's because I was hoping to use them up. So we were recently in Stanthorpe. Oh, it's not using up, but giving it a go. We were recently popped into Stanthorpe, which is one of our favourite places in the whole wide world. And while we were in Stanthorpe, we had picked up some beautiful bits and pieces from a particular purveyor of fine goods, Sutton's, which do the most amazing apple pie you ever did see.
Absolutely delicious. Best pies in Australia, I reckon.
And it reminded me that I have actually got some, it's kind of like a distilled apple brandy that we got from Sutton's a little while ago, which I haven't done anything with. And I thought this would be a great time to do something with it. I've also got here a little bit of apple syrup, which I'm going to try and do something tricksy, which will probably fail miserably. And do like a drizzle on the glass. Okay, the second glass got a bit drizzlier. That's all right. Oh, that is good. So the apple syrup, it's like apple juice which has been cooked down and reduced for ages. So it's just like deliciously appley goodness, but still has a level of acidity to it. So what I'm going to do is try this appley spirit stuff for the first time, which is a great idea. Ooh. smells quite lovely. And because I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants, but like, I don't want to be rotten for Bible study, so I will still measure it. So I reckon 1 shot between 2 of the appley goodness. Bit of gin.
Is that the Melbourne gin?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Do we need any sweetener?
Um,
I've got a bit in the apple syrup.
let's go without for now.
Do we need acid? Acid.
Yeah, maybe something a little bit sour, but I'm not sure what we've got at the moment.
Do, do, do.
Yep, making it up on the fly. That's how we roll here.
Well, it's definitely how this biker rolls.
Mm.
This is so exact. Wee bit of lemon juice. Maybe I should do sugar.
Give it a good shake.
Yeah.
All right, crazy.
Is there anything else in there? Hello? Oh, it worked.
It did. Just keep saying hello and
Oh,
It'll
we've just
keep
got
coming
like
out.
a magical cocktail that will never end.
just infinite olive oil.
Ah, okay. We might have reached the end of the infinite cocktail. And now to top it up. So Heath and I stayed at a little motel last week.
I'm
And-
sorry. Sorry, I can see what's going on right now. Yes.
And I had taken some wine with us because, you know, sometimes it's nicer to have a glass of wine in your motel room before you go anywhere. And we rather foolhardily decided to open up a bottle of bubbles before we went for dinner, even though we're only going to have one glass. And I can't do waste. Heath knows I can't do waste. And I was really sad at the idea of needing to tip out the bottle of wine before we left. And then I decided to put it in my water bottle and take it home with us, which is what I did. So I'm going to top this up with slightly flat sparkling wine. Very
I
flat
wouldn't say
sparkling wine.
slightly flat.
Completely flat sparkling wine. But I had to let Heath know what I did because I'd put my water bottle right next to where I had just popped our vitamins. I'm like, please don't judge me.
That
I haven't actually
is
put wine in my
absolutely
water
classic.
bottle.
Because, yeah.
But yeah, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
Who
Flat,
knows?
flat sparkling.
Flat sparkling.
Apple and what are we thinking?
That's pretty good.
It's
It is
not
quite
too bad.
sour.
It's got a real zing to it. Yeah. But that's okay.
Oh, it's nice and refreshing though.
Nice job.
Excellent. All right.
Okay.
Time to stack.
Cocktails made. What's
Most
next?
important.
The most important step.
Most important
Yep.
step
Of cooking.
of cooking.
All right.
Okie dokie. So I've got the... I may have made like a lot of mix for the amount of pita that I've got.
I reckon you might have to. Yes.
That's okay.
Yes, indeedy.
I'll figure it out. So I've got my Greek sort of inspired mixes in Sri Lankan fashion. There is a ton of veg in there. So we've got zucchini and carrot and onion and celery and garlic and corn and eggplant.
Just scoop a bit to... Yeah.
Like, look at
yeah,
that
righto.
vibrancy there. It's beautiful.
Lots of colours. Yeah. looks good.
Tomato, chili, capsicum. I'm also just going to pop in a little bit of extra corn.
Cut straight from the cob, I noticed,
Yes.
before the show. That was pretty cool. I do like fresh corn.
Oh, it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's definitely nicer than frozen, but not by enough that it warrants the effort sometimes.
No.
But it was good to see. It's
Yeah,
really
and
nice.
it came in our fruit and veggie box delivery.
Yeah, cool.
And so I've got here the chicken mince sort of substitute,
Yep.
which I cooked in the Varoma on top of the mix. So I will just
Try and add that in.
try and aim that
Good luck.
in as well. Thank you.
Nice. Looks good. And incredibly full.
Yep.
As long as you can keep it in there. Goodness. All right. So what's the ultimate plan with this?
All right, so I've got a tray here, which I have covered in baking paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I am now, I was tossing up with whether or not I needed to put like a structural like blob down the bottom first.
A structural blob.
Yeah. But so I've just got pita und pita und
Und-
baking paper.
Und die Pita. I just thought
Do you remember
I'd
which
get
one
in
was-
and
this
give it a
is
bit.
mine or is this yours?
This one's mine here.
Okay. Do you want a bit more apple syrup?
No, I'm good.
No.
It's
Actually
got a
good.
real zing.
That's lovely. The only problem with making all these cocktails on the fly is blowed if I remember what I've done with like
Yeah, it's a one trick
Always.
pony.
so we'll just
Okay, so you're just piling it on.
so I flavoured this with a lot I put chickpeas in there too.
Mm-hmm.
And I flavoured it with lots of oregano, lots of smoked paprika and cumin as well, just to really give it that sort of lift and that kind of Greek flavour profile. I do hold some concerns about the eventual structural integrity of the stack.
This thing is going to be quite the stack. Based on the size of that first stack, I think we're in for a interesting time.
But it does smell amazing.
It really does. And it wasn't, I mean, there was a bit of prep time, wasn't there? So
Yeah.
getting the mince mix ready took a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But once it was cooking away, simmering away,
Yeah. There's very little sort of hands-on
Yeah.
prep. And like if I had sort of chosen to do like less veg. Oh, I also there was a tin of tomatoes in there. I also put in a tomato that we discovered at the bottom of the veggie bin yesterday, which was like fine for cooking, but you wouldn't put on a sandwich.
Yep.
So also contains one sad tomato.
So ultimately, you've got your layers. What happens? Like, what's the
So
final?
once I've done the layers,
Mm. Mm.
then I'll pop some cheese on top. I've probably been a bit too generous with the other ones.
Oh, okay. So you've got a bit less. Well, maybe that's a good thing. Less weight at the top.
Yeah,
top.
that's all right.
Right. Sure, that was totally intended.
Completely intended.
But it is starting to look like just a stack of pizzas.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Yep. I shouldn't. 'Cause it looks delicious. Very, very good.
So Heath and I had the opportunity to go to an evening with Nigella Lawson on Thursday night, which was just,
It was pretty amazing.
it was amazing.
It was pretty good. She's such a talented woman, and she is so interesting, isn't she?
Just amazing. And so articulate, so well read, and very, just a real class act.
Yeah, and she waited around for signings and things like
Yeah,
that, and
so
waited a very long
we got to
time.
meet her, which was
Yeah.
just
It was great.
amazing.
It was great. Yes. She was kind enough to sign a bag of chips for me.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that story.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Alrighty.
No, she has a fondness for salt and vinegar chips, so I bought her a bag in intermission, and the reason that I bought her a bag in intermission is because we were given the opportunity to all post our questions to her, and she would answer them after intermission. Now, she only got to about, 6 questions
Yeah.
or something like that, and there would have been a
there were
handful of thousands
Yeah.
of people there, so she didn't get to my question, which was, I bought a bag of salt and vinegar crisps during intermission. Would you like it? And and so, as a result, we went up to get a signing done, and I offered her the bag, or that she could sign it. I didn't mind. She could either have the bag of chips,
Well, she could
or
sign
she
it.
could sign it for me.
And she went with signing it.
She went with signing it, which is very understandable because
You're
I
a perfect
imagine
stranger.
accepting food from randos at these things is a no-no, even if they're fully sealed.
So that is the stack.
That's the stack. Let's get back on topic, shall we? Back on topic.
That's the very stacky stack.
Very stacky stack. Yep, it's looking good.
And just keeping in mind, that this is to serve Heath and I for 4 nights worth of dinners. So
Yes.
it's 8 servings worth there.
Yep. Yeah.
So I've got here a mixture of cheese that I had grated a couple of weeks ago that I just popped in the freezer. So this is a mixture of Parmesan and a Jarlsberg, so a sweeter
Nice combo.
cheese.
Very good. That is looking very nice.
But
And it does look a bit like a pizza.
Heath is right. It does just kind of look like a bunch of pizzas together.
Yeah.
But I love me a Mexican stack. I reckon it's really tasty.
I don't know how many people have had Mexican stacks because I hadn't had one when I first met you.
Yes, I think it was something that my mum used to do. Maybe it was slightly unusual.
Really good way to use up things like pita bread that's a tad, stale or something like that, because the whole point is to get the edges crispy and, get it in the oven and really crisp up on the
Yeah,
edge.
and rather than doing like enchiladas or something like that, there's a lot. Shall I just use the rest of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'll just sort of.
Yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, you bake it and then slice it like a cake.
Yeah, like it's brilliant, and so it's great to like great for a meal prep kind of thing.
Mm.
And it's really easy from a portion control perspective as well, in terms of like it's easy to cut into the amount of serves that you've got, rather than, because we did like sort of pulled pork last week, which is delicious and worked out really well, but sometimes it's hard, particularly when something's a bit liquidy, to sort of visualize 8 servings of it. I don't
Exactly.
know.
Yep.
So I'm going to pop that.
I think this is mine because I've had more than you, I reckon. So.
All right, I'm going to pop this into the oven for, I reckon,
Mm-hmm.
half an hour until the cheese is nice and melty. So we'll pop it in. And the only other thing I was going to do is very quickly just slice up. So when Heath and I did our raging Saturday night grocery shop, our local discount grocer had some corned brisket, which I hadn't come across before, on a good sale. So it was $6.99 a kilo, which is
$7 a kilo
really
for
cheap for
any
me.
beef. Even though it's corned, so it's got a lot of water in it, right? They've added a lot of
Yep.
stuff. But $6.99.
It's crazy. So
Yeah,
I popped it in the slow cooker this morning on high before we went to church, in the hopes that we would be able to use it not only for bread rolls, or salad rolls, I should say, for this week, but also, fingers crossed, I was hoping that it would be cooked and tender enough for us to be able to have it for lunch today as well, which we did. So we had some really beautiful bread rolls with the warmed corned brisket with some nice salad bits and pieces. And because I was concerned that Heath was going to feel sad that it was pretty much exactly the same as what we would normally have during the week, I also served it with a little bit of macaroni cheese that we had in the freezer and some grapes on the side, because
we had grapes?
we had grapes. And it was delicious and quite tender, but I've just got the rest of it now that I'm going to sort of finish slicing up. But I'm so lazy when it comes to cooking corned meat in the slow cooker. So I don't cover it with water or anything like that. I just put it straight into the slow cooker as is. I add an onion sometimes, always garlic, a couple of bay leaves, and I add a carrot as well. I don't do anything to the carrot, just add the carrot in whole. If I've got some celery, which is what I did today, I just bunged in a couple of slices of celery, leaves and all. And then I just put it on the slow cooker, in the slow cooker on high, for like 5-6 hours, depending on the size of the piece. So this particular piece was 1.8 kilos, and it was beautifully done as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
Within 5 hours on high.
Yeah. So we like our corned meat to remain a little bit firm. We don't want it completely falling apart. Hey.
No, I don't want it to be like pulled beef kind of consistency, because then because the primary reason why we do it is to be able to make salad rolls and wraps and things like that. So that's a really good consistency. Because it's not cooked in water, the flavour is concentrated, so it's a bit saltier than what you would ordinarily have, but neither Heath nor I have an issue with sodium, so that's okay. And I actually used the cooking liquid from it to cook up the chickpeas that have gone into our Greek stack. So the chickpeas have got like this beautiful sort of meaty quality to the flavour, which sounds weird, but it actually tastes really good. And they will just, so I guess if you were making this dish with the meat alternative mince in the hopes of being able to feed it to someone who's vegan. Maybe don't cook the chickpeas in the water from the corned meat. Just a thing.
Or don't tell people.
Yeah, and they'll go, what's the secret to this? And you'll go, love. Because love is a corned brisket.
Yes.
So for that, that's six. So it was $6.99 for about 1.8 kilos. So for under $13, Heath and I have got we had a really lovely lunch today. That's going to do lunches for this week and a little bit of lunches for next week as well. So that's a great deal. And I guess it's one of those things where it wasn't on the shopping list and it wasn't necessarily something we would often buy, and it is sort of striking that balance between making sure that you're buying things on sale that you will actually use, but also being open to the possibilities of doing something a little bit different if you're able to take advantage of it to be able to stretch it and make your budget go that little much further. So we've got a few other bits and pieces that we're going to be cracking on with, but no one wants to watch me pull apart a lettuce. So we're going to love you and leave you, and we can't wait to do it all again next week on Alongside Lauren.